Hi there, Aquarius. Welcome to your August 2023 reading. As I'm shuffling your cards, I wish to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land that I'm doing this reading from, the Gumbaynggirr people, and recognize their continued connection to their land, waters, and their culture. And I pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Let's begin the reading with this card, Crocodile, Tenderness. So this month it is Leo season, and Leo represents your 7th house. It's on the opposite side of the chart from you. It is the house that represents your opposite, but also represents your partner, your past, present, or future partner. So we're talking about intimate partners, marriage partners, but also business partners and one-on-one connections. Not only is it Leo season, but it is also a Venus retrograde happening at this very same time in Leo, in that opposite sign. So for you, more than anybody, this Venus in retrograde in Leo will be having a massive impact on you, because it's helping you to tend to yourself, helping you to look at yourself through the mirror of the other person and through your intimate connections, your relationships. With the crocodile card, there is a need to bring tenderness to this, and Venus really does ask for and speak of tenderness and gentleness. She's the divine feminine planet, so she's wanting that divine feminine gentleness and tenderness and ease and harmony she's trying to create. So anywhere where there is a disharmony, she will be amplifying for you to bring some loving awareness to it and help you to heal and grow and expand your relationships. So I have done a separate reading and video, but there's based on purely on the Venus retrograde. It goes into a lot of specific details on how to utilize Venus retrograde energy, how to maximize your potential with that energy. So I highly recommend you go and watch that video. I'll link it down below. It will give you a great understanding on how to utilize this. But with the crocodile card, it really speaks of needing to tend to your shadow side, needing to tend to your the darker side and the negative emotions, and bring them to the surface to release and to heal and to tend to be tender with these negative emotions. So not avoiding negative emotions, not avoiding conflict or disruptions within your relationship, but actually honoring them. So the crocodile is about honoring the unconscious and bringing the conscious into the unconscious, into the conscious awareness, for the purpose of healing, for the purpose of being careful and kind and gentle and easy. So the other major thing that's happening this month in August is that we will be having a Mercury retrograde as well, overlapping this Venus retrograde. So that's happening in Virgo, and it begins on August the 24th until September 16. Again, I'm in the process of making a video for that as well. So when look for that when it's released closer to August 24th, because that will show you, it will go into a lot of detail about how to utilize that Mercury retrograde energy as well. And this is exactly what this crocodile card is asking of you, because the Mercury retrograde is all about bringing the unconscious into the conscious and utilizing your focus and your focus awareness to make changes to your unconscious programming, to your unconscious beliefs, and therefore your unconscious thoughts, emotions, and actions to improve your state of being. So when the crocodile card comes out, it is really an indicator that there could be some pain or trauma or fear or discomfort, like emotional discomfort, that could rise to the surface for you at this time throughout August, and that would be reflected in the cosmic energy that's available throughout this month as well. So it's a time to really sit with and reflect on and be with yourself. Retrograde energy like this, and a lot of the outer planets are retrograde as well. It isn't really a time to push or to take action. It's a time to really sit back and reflect and tend to yourself, tend to these things, and be with those emotions as they arise, validate them, honor them, and utilize that information, because the emotions are your guidance system. They are information, nothing more, nothing less, but information on how you are feeling, how you are thinking, how you are acting, and how out of alignment you are with your source energy, with your life purpose, with your direction. And that's what they're there for, to coming to the surface to help you to improve, to uplift, and to create more ease in your life. So we have the 8 of Coins, the Chariot, and the Ten of Coins. So the Mercury retrograde is happening in Virgo, and Virgo represents your 8th house. So this is a house, this is a financial house. So, I mean, this could be applied to your finances as well. So that is a house of money, of other people's money, of where you can invest your money. So there is, I'm just saying that because there's coins coming out here to be aware. So I cover all bases. This could be about your upliftment around your vibration, your thought habits around money. But with the 8th house, what we're looking at is your sense of deservedness, your sense of worthiness through your alignment with your empowerment. And so I think with the 8 of Coins here, Virgo is the sign of self-mastery. It looks at mastering ourselves, and with the retrograde there, we're mastering our thought patterns around money, around abundance, around finances, around vulnerabilities. If this is to do with your relationships, it's about allowing yourself to be vulnerable. With the 8 of Coins, it's about doing the work. We're doing that work to master those thought habits, mastering the thought habits and mastering the emotional response, so that you can master your life, so that you can create a legacy, so that you can create a sense of achievement and satisfaction. If you overlook your life, I feel really strongly for you, Aquarius, that feeling of satisfaction will be a really good goalpost to be reaching for at this time. It does require confidence. It does require some courage to move into the unknown. Whenever we're dealing with vulnerabilities, that 8th house is really where we're looking at our vulnerabilities and how our ability to be vulnerable with life and with other people and with ourselves, and it requires courage. It is easy to sink back into fear, into that fear response, crocodile, and allow life to just keep unfolding the way it is. So many people do that. So many people live in that fear state. They do not allow themselves to be vulnerable, and so they live a very small and mediocre life. So if you want to lead an expansive life, if you want to see your dreams come true, your reality be the best that you can make it, if you want to live to your fullest potential, you have to have the courage to be vulnerable. And that's what this month is all about, and even September is all about. So there is the opportunity to practice that with your partner, but also to practice it with your in your finances and just in life in general. We do have on August the 1st, okay, the very first day of August, we open up with your annual full moon. Okay, so this is your time. Every year you get this full moon and you get this opportunity to start fresh, to release baggage. And so I feel like this energy, this negative energy, or this tenderness, or this need to be vulnerable could come up really at the very beginning of the month. And then on August the 8th, Venus will conjunct Lilith in Leo, so there could be something that comes up within your relationships around rejection, around abandonment, around shame. So this is all for the purpose of healing, okay? And so what I'm trying to say is, don't avoid those emotions, don't avoid that work. Have the courage, have the bravery to step into it, even if you don't know the outcome, because even if the outcome is not what you're wanting from your life, or not how you saw it unfolding, this is about self-mastery. So it is about actually mastering and being empowered and trusting yourself above and beyond anybody else. So you can't control what other people do. You can't control their responses. You can't control their actions. You can't control how they perceive you, but you can control your own responses, your own emotions, your own thoughts, okay? So when we have control over those, when we deliberately choose our thoughts and we deliberately choose our emotions, we have a massive sense of empowerment, and therefore we are taking actions that are empowered, and therefore we do not need that from other people. So the 8th house again is the house of getting our needs met, and it really what it comes down to is meeting your own needs. So that full moon on the 1st of August, and then the Lilith conjunction on the 8th of August, really powerful time to look at the darker sides of things, to really figure out where you stand in that alignment with empowerment. And then on August the 16th, we have this new moon in Leo in the 7th house. That will bring you an opportunity to embed and commit yourself to these intentions that come up for you, and to start fresh with a clean slate in a new direction, with that empowered self-mastery. Knight of Wands, and Eight of Wands. So things are moving really fast for you. You're in a powerful time of manifestation. Whenever Mercury is in retrograde, we're in a powerful time of manifestation. So you have the ability to tend to these thoughts, tend to all these habits that we've been talking about this reading, be tender to yourself, tender to other people, and that will speed up the momentum. Remembering that you have momentum always, it's just what direction you're applying that momentum in. Are you creating momentum through fear, or are you creating momentum through alignment, through passion, through inspiration? Knight of Wands, that inspired momentum. Are you taking inspired action? Now the way to take inspired action is to drop into that heart space, to do that self-mastery, to be empowered in your choices, in your decisions. So the Venus retrograde in Leo is bringing awareness for everybody to our heart space, to operating from our heart space, to acting on our heart space, to letting our hearts lead the way, to opening our hearts to love and creativity and all of those beautiful, strong emotions. And that's how we become inspired. That's how we align with passion. And that's how we get to make these decisions, these empowered and inspired decisions for our future. Having the courage to act on those inspirations. So if you are feeling inspired but feeling nervous to act out on them, the Chariot here is telling you it's time to act on those inspirations and see where they lead. Follow the lead of your heart and your inspiration, and see, and that will build this momentum, Eight of Wands, towards something brand new, which may not be anything that you've thought about at this time, but it's exciting. With the 8th house being activated, there's change. The 8th house is the house of transformation and change, so there's always change whenever that's activated. So looking at what changes are coming may not be what you expect. And we have the Temperance card, beautiful card for that blending this into reality. So it says find clarity through calm. Okay, so the clarity comes, like I've been saying, the clarity comes from opening your heart, from that self-mastery, from being gentle, being tender on yourself, and being gentle and tender on other people as well. And this is about blending. This is about the alchemy between the physical and the non-physical reality. So there's a lot of physical reality stuff going on here, coins, energy. There's things that can actually happen that are tangible, that you can feel, but there's also this drive to bring some more source, some more spirit into your actions, into your daily life. I feel really strongly for you, Aquarius, that is going to happen. That is what is available to you during this time, is bringing more source energy, grounding source energy into your daily life, into your daily practice, and getting some clarity and some moderation around what's going on, what's happening for you. We have the Judgment card on the bottom of the deck. So your ruling planet Uranus will move retrograde on August 29th. So all the outer planets retrograde, your ruling planet retrograde, Venus retrograde, Mercury retrograde. We're really looking at going really internal, doing this deep reflective work. This is the Judgment card, is about really doing that self-inventory, taking time out to reflect, to see where you're at, so that you can move into a rebirth. The Judgment card is also rebirth energy. We are reborn when we take that time to reflect on ourselves, like I said at the beginning of the reading, to reflect on where you're at, to reflect on the darker sides, to reflect on the more negative sides, and then create a system of how you're going to uplift that and how you're going to create mastery over yourself, taking empowered control over your thoughts, your words, your actions, your emotions, so that you are empowered to create the life that you're trying to create for yourself, which is about judgment, is about taking that judgment and reflecting on yourself so that you can make a difference, make a change. So these cards are what are going to be reflected through the environment to you this month. What will be reflected through the environment? We have new vision. This one. And harmonize. Beautiful. So with the harmonize card, that is the vibration that Venus is all about. Is about harmony, creating harmony between two elements, That's Venus's jam. So in the 7th house, it's creating harmony between you and somebody else, and therefore between you and yourself. So, I mean, when it happens, it manifests in our reality on the external level, where it's looking at how you connect with another person. But really that connection, so a lot of people get sort of stuck on that lens of what's happening in the real world, in reality, and it's about that relationship, but they forget that actually underneath that, the underlying vibration underneath that is your relationship with yourself and your relationship with your inner being, your higher self or source, which is way more important. That is where it's important to tend to your connection with your higher self is the way we tend to our connections with other people. So as you tend to that connection with your higher self, tend to your connection with yourself, be more loving, be more gentle, be more easy, take mastery, take ownership, take responsibility. You create this beautiful harmony. With this Temperance card and the Harmonized card, we create this beautiful harmony that then flows out of us and into our relationships with other people and into our relationships with the environment. And so the more that you are doing that, the more that will be reflected back to you through the lens of other people, so through that mirror of other people. So if you're in a lot of conflict this month with other people, know that that means there's conflict between you and yourself, you and your inner being. Tend to that alignment, and the conflict will dissipate and you will create harmony. Now, the New Vision card, I do see this with the Knight of Wands, the Eight of Wands. There is vision coming through. There is this opportunity to create something new, a new direction for your life. Like I said, the eighth house is a house of change and transformation and rebirth. So there could be a new vision coming through, and I feel like you need to follow that inspired action, that inspiration. If you don't follow that inspiration, then you will see evidence of the pain of not following that new vision. But if you follow that inspired action through this month, you will see evidence in your environment of that new vision coming to light, of it starting to take shape, just take form, and starting to really manifest in reality for you. And it is time to surrender to receiving support and love. Beautiful. I love this card for you, Aquarius. Allow the love and the support of others in rather than trying to handle everything yourself. This can take the pressure off and simultaneously nurture you. That's so beautiful with this tenderness card. So there could be this storyline, like I said, if there's this negative side, this darker side of your psyche, of your unconscious patternings that keep you separated from love, that keep you disconnected from a lover, from your past, present, or future relationship. That, like I've said a few times, that's going to disconnect you from yourself. It disconnects you from your inner being. So that's an indicator that you're disconnected. If you're not willing to receive love, if you're feeling fearful, if you've opened yourself up to receive in the past and been hurt and you're closed off to receiving, that is going to be reflected to you during this month. This Venus retrograde is all about receptivity. Venus is the planet of the divine feminine, and she's telling you to receive the love of other people. Open your heart to receive. This comes back to your empowerment. Like I said up here with the Eight of Coins, how empowered you feel. When we feel empowered, when we feel like we can trust ourselves to have our own back, when we feel like we can trust ourselves to meet our own needs, that we won't abandon ourselves, which means if we have a need, that we honor that and we take action on that every single time. As you feel that trust in yourself, you know that you are safe to open up to other people, because it's not really trusting them that you're doing, because you trust yourself anyway. So what that other person does, their actions and their responses to you, really, it is beautiful when it's going well, but if it's not going well, it doesn't really matter, because you know that you have your own back. So coming from an empowered space, coming from a harmonized space, knowing that when you're in alignment with your inner being, that is reflected back to you. So that is your space. That is your way of manifesting relationships and loving relationships that are supportive to you. Knowing that you have the power and the capacity to do that every single day, whenever you want, and trusting in that alignment allows you to open up and surrender to receiving. So we have remind yourself that you are a soul spirit being. Enjoy the process instead of always looking for the result. Okay, so first of all, yes, remind yourself that you are a soul spirit being. This is exactly what I've just been talking about. It's about that alignment with self, alignment with source, rather than the alignment with the other person on the other side of the scale from you. So taking your awareness, your attention off that person, what they're doing, how they're responding, and bringing the attention back to self is the best way to deal with any 7th house energy, because you are a spiritual being, and as you tap into that side of yourself, as you tap into your inner being, your higher self, you start to manifest from that energy anyway, and so the other person will change and adapt or move from in alignment with how aligned you are. Now enjoy the process instead of always looking for the result. What this means is, and what is so important for you to know, Aquarius, is that you must want to do this. You must want to feel love. You must want to receive love. You must want to feel harmonized. You must want to feel inspired, simply for the purpose of feeling those emotions. Not because you're trying to make somebody love you, not because you're trying to create a relationship, not because you're trying to make life easier, okay, which will be the result, but we're not doing it for the purpose of the result. We're doing it for the purpose of the feeling, of chasing that feeling, wanting to feel good, wanting to feel love, just for the sake of feeling loved. When you can do it in that way, which makes it unconditional, you're doing it just for the feeling response, feeling signature to be felt within your system, because that feels good and it feels better than the alternative. When you're doing it for that reason, that's when it's sustainable. That's when it's pure and it's authentic and it can continue, because if you're waiting for those results, they won't come when you're doing it for that, with that intention in mind, but also then the emotion is dependent on the result. We're trying to make it so the emotion is not dependent on the environment, on other people, or on results. Okay? The emotion needs to come from within. You need to be responsible, you need to be able to control it, you need to be able to own it, and it needs to happen regardless of the condition in order for it to be pure and to be lifelong, to make those lifelong changes within your system, within your state of being. Okay, Aquarius, that is your August reading. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. I really do appreciate your time here with me. And yeah, so I linked the Venus retrograde video that I've done in the description box down below. I have done a separate video on the Mercury retrograde as well, so make sure you subscribe to my channel. That way, I mean, that really helps me, but also you'll get notified when I release that Mercury retrograde video. And I really look forward to seeing you again in the next video. Take care.